Peace. In the name of Allah, I'm Aubrey Muhammad. I pray that everyone is well. Hemsptead family, friends, and believers, welcome to my live session. As you know, out here today in front of the food bazaar. The food bazaar was just took over Stop and Shop in Hemsptead, and that's the subject of this live. The gentrification of Hemsptead. The Stop and Shop was here for a long time. James Garner brought the Stop and Shop here, if y'all remember that. And under the agreement of the Stop and Shop under Mayor James Garner, he's from North Carolina, where my people from, was that to give jobs to people in Hempstead. And they got a tax break and a pilot. But as soon as the tax break pilot was threatening to go from years ago, Stop and Shop was threatening to go. Okay, so they were very fickle anyway. But they hired our people, a lot of our people there. And some of our people had seniority there. So the Hempstead developers, along with financiers, the developers, Renaissance, that was Don Monte, the financiers, RXR, Scott Reckler, right there in Uniondale, at the Silver EAB buildings, old EAB buildings. RXR owns those now. They're financiers. They finance a lot of gentrification in Harlem and Brooklyn, now in Hempstead. The Hempstead Village Board, Don Monte Renaissance, RXR, Invest Financiers. The Village Board and the school board mainly been quiet too and colluding with these racist developers for the racist gentrification of Hempstead for decades. But the plan was initiated, the Master Development Agreement. Colluders, it gets a little complicated because next week I will literally be expanding this live. And next week it'll be details about feedback I'm waiting to get back from people I reached out to in regards to Food Bazaar and village officials and other politicians. I'm waiting for them to get back to me. So I'm not going to go in too deep right now. This is just an overview. The racist development, the racist misdevelopment and gentrification plan was signed 2012 by then the corrupt Mayor Wayne Hall. Mayor Wayne Hall was so corrupt, he signed blank documents, blank pages to the Master Development Agreement with Don Monte and Renaissance. He signed blank documents. Did y'all hear that? The Master Development Agreement had blank pages. He signed them. And that was his spirit. So they planned the gentrification of mainly the Hempstead downtown, a 300-acre area. And this is right towards the edge. This is the bottom. This is the south edge. Hempstead, if you see behind me, you see back there, that's going towards the high school. That's the auto zone back there. Going back towards the high school, all the way back behind me, going down towards the village, Prospect School, down to the U-Haul, over towards 150 Washington, and all the way up to 303 Metro North. The apartments at the Garden City border, that's a 300-acre footprint that them developers been planning to gentrify, to build Hempstead into a white college casino city where we will not be included. Yeah, and the Stop and Shop, we've been warning people about the Stop and Shop since 2021. That's 3 years ago. We warned that the Stop and Shop in this whole area here was slated. It was specific areas in that Master Development Agreement. And we literally, it has taken this long because we literally put the brakes on it. Coalition of Concerned Citizens of Hempstead, we put a lawsuit on the village and them developers about this misdevelopment. And it held them up for 10 years, a decade. That's why we're here now. They're back to business. And what is their business? All of you claimed we're paranoid. You claimed we were even racist. You claimed that we were out of our minds, that we were delusional, that the Stop and Shop was closing, that all under this 300, it wasn't even 300-acre footprint then. It was the Master Development Agreement, Renaissance, 280 acres, something like that. They expanded it, and they keep on expanding it, because they're going to do what they're going to do. And one of the detrimental things was what? Closing the Stop and Shop, who had black Hemsptead employees for a long time, many with seniority, and we know them, good brothers and sisters working in there. They closed it and replaced it with this food bazaar. And what that does is the food bazaar brought in cheaper labor. Now, this is a light example of gentrification. You take a Stop and Shop that's been in Hempstead providing jobs, which Mayor Garner negotiated for them to come here along with the Home Depot. They had to hire our people. That was the agreement. They give them jobs. Then when they're gone, the gentry is them, and it's not the Latino workers in the food bazaar now, but it's the 35 luxury apartments they plan on building and more. They're going to do whatever they want now. It's black employees, been displaced, unemployed. And when they went to apply for jobs at Food Bazaar, they have one in Westbury too. And it's a Korean, I believe, supermarket, Korean owned. And they have one in Westbury. And I know a few of the people there, mainly the employees, but I knew the Fairway management. Food Bazaar bought Fairway. Fairway was a Jewish supermarket. But Food Bazaar, I knew a few people. So I would go to Westbury and talk to them. But the Westbury Food Bazaar is trained lower wage employees that are here now, Latino. None of them black. As you can see, you look around, you look for yourself. And I've been out here about 10 minutes getting ready. You see them a little late. All Latino employees. Now, they wouldn't hire the black Stop and Shop employees because they wouldn't match their wages. They had seniority, you know. So the wages were a little up there. So they wouldn't match them. So what does that do? That displaces you. You're in Hempstead, you're working now. It's convenient. You go to work. You're in a mall. There's a few things around here. It's the Burger King. It's the other 99-cent store around there. It's the Old Navy here. It's little restaurants over there. There's quite a few things around here. As you work in a place, you can go, you're right at home. You go home, right in Hempstead. So now that you displace, what does that do? Now you got to get in your car, you got to travel, you got to get on the bus. You're displaced. You're going into a different neighborhood to work. So the Hempstead employees, Food Bazaar did hire a lower wage Latino. And that, my friends, is replacement. That is imported migrants, immigrants. That's why they're importing millions of migrants now, so-called migrants, asylum seekers. They're not. They're imports. They're selected. They're cheap labor. They're scabs. And the professional class is to replace us in the professional area. They're replacements. Why? Because American white supremacy says that Native black Americans will be a permanent underclass. That's the policy. That's why this Stop and Shop was lightly gentrified. The black employees from Hempstead, you have jobs, now you displace. They bring in, they say, oh, we're fair. We had job openings, we offer, equal opportunity, but they lowered the wages. So who is going for them lower wages? The cheaper wages, and they're more pliable. They can push them around easier. We are more demanding. You know what I'm saying? We demand more. We are more problem to them. Because you can't push us over. They can do whatever they want with them, and they do. That's why they keep piling up for jobs to them. That's why they keep coming into the country. They fly them in the country. And this is what's happening. Right here at the Food Bazaar is cooperating with them. And Koreans and Asians mainly don't hire black people anyway in New York. You rarely find a lot of black employees in Korean-owned businesses, corporations in New York. Especially in New York City. Flushing is the new Chinatown. They started that since the 80s. I used to go over there in the 80s and 90s. They really took it over. So now we are dealing with the Stop and Shop employees who were displaced, like we predicted. We went on social media, and a good brother, Jeff Spencer, he brought this to the attention of the people. He said, look, he said, I guess no Hemsptead people applied for jobs at the food bazaar. And then other Stop and Shop employees said, yeah, they didn't hire us. They wouldn't pay us. So we Stop and Shop put them to other places. So they're literally unemployed for a minute. But they're displaced. They were employed but displaced, going to Floral Park, and I believe it was Franklin Square, or the other Stop and Shops. Stop and Shop got quite a few things. They got one in Oceanside, two of them in Oceanside. But that displacement hurts you. And who's coming in working now? New Hemsptead residents, but they're from that migrant pool. And they got them at cheap labor. And that's the way it's going to keep going in Hemsptead. And it would have went had not Jeff brought this to light. He went to the Department of, I think it was Labor, to check the minimum wage requirements, because you know they will pay you off the books and cheap to undercut you, because they just proved it. So he went there, and I said, well, you going there, I know a few people at the food bazaar in Westbury. I'll go over there and speak to them to see what's up in Hempstead. And that's where I got a little bit more information. I did that like on, you can see the post for September 29th. I chimed in about, I think, October 1st or something around that time. But the October 3rd, I believe, I went to the food bazaar in Westbury to speak to them. What's up? Get these brothers and sisters some jobs. They said, well, they referred me back over to, they said they were just training them there. So the training, yeah, these employees were trained in the Westbury store. And so they said, go to Hempstead. So I was going to come Monday, I think it was. So all of a sudden, Monday, I think it was October 4th, an agreement was made. I think that was, I'm not going to go into details now, because I've reached out to politicians, I've reached out to corporations, I've reached out to people, and I'm waiting for them to get back to me. So I'm waiting for the feedback. It doesn't look good. It looks like they're doubling down on silencing us, muzzling this gentrification, this displacement and replacement. They want to quiet it down because we made too much noise, but we're going to make more noise. So I'm waiting for them to get back, and if they don't get back, which I expect, next week, the menu for my live is going to be in the kitchen again. I'm going to be cooking. It's going to be popcorn. You get your little popcorn ready too. You get your little pot, little heavy pot, your little coconut oil, your salt and your butter, and salt, pepper, and a little butter, and make your little popcorn. I'm going to be making popcorn and tea. All right? Y'all get ready for that. If they don't do right. So a good thing happened, okay? A good thing, but it's not something for us to do a victory lap, because it got a little poison in it. You know what I'm saying? Negotiated to get a job fair, to get it written down. You can see it on Jeff Spencer's page, where they celebrated, the former employees can come back for a job fair on the 16th, October 16th. That's the Holy Day of Atonement. Long live the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who is alive. That job fair, they will be given the opportunity to have their salaries matched. Now, I'll talk a little about that, because I can, before I get information from them. The salary matching only came, it wasn't for any genuine concern. Had we been silent, like they tried to do, they were gaslighting us on Jeff Spencer's post. Oh, their spirit was, be quiet. Well, they're always begging people, do something for yourself. That's what they literally would do. That was their spirit. And we were proving, man, it's been playing a long time. We are doing something for ourselves. Native Black Americans, FBA, Foundational Black Americans, ADOS, American Descendants of Slaves, Freedmen, American Negro, we are the only group redlined in this nation, targeted for redlining. We are the only group targeted for undermining, sabotage. We're the only group, 40-something million of us, who are sabotaged and undermined by the government. No other group in this nation is that done to. That's us. We're the most talented people on the planet. We are the root. We made all those inventions. They were stolen from us. We got something like 40,000 something patents. That's the ones that we did after emancipation, when we had them all black towns. We was building everything. We're the most productive, industrious people on the planet. After emancipation, we left white folks, because we know how racist and evil and contemptuous for us they are. They miseducate us. They misportray us in the media. They devalue us. And that's the essence of American white supremacy. We knew that, so we built. We had all those patents, inventions. We dominated sports and the music. American music, that's us. Most of the culture in America is Native Black Americans. That's us. Those of us who built the country. 400 years we've been here. 300 years we built the country. It was built off our labor. We were plundered, and that plunder built America into a mountain of gold. And that mountain of gold attracts other people from around the world. And then we even fought for the civil rights and we fought for other freedom of black people around the world. During South Africa, the apartheid, we fought for that, to end apartheid. That was us. We fought for the civil rights bill. We fought for that, for immigrants to come here. And mostly in the 60s, a lot of black immigrants that were coming here, they did side with us, a lot of them. But as my pastor, Elder Dorsey said in Rockville Center, he was born in Rockville Center in the 1920s. I did a live on him. Go look at that documentary. It's a short little mini bio of him. Well, it's a bio because it's an interview. He said in Rockville Center back then, a lot of West Indians who came in at that time, I think it was the 40s or 50s, he said they didn't associate with us. They delineated. And he said one of them West Indian families bought a house in an area that Native black people couldn't buy a house. And so we went and bought a house a little farther away, a couple of blocks away in a white area, and the Ku Klux Klan burned a cross on our yard. That's our experience. We are targeted. Other people are not targeted. So early on, we fought for the civil rights for a lot of immigrants to come here. That we bust that door open. And we fought and we got it established. And that immigrant, we were hoping for help. That if you were black from Africa or if you from the Caribbean, we fought for you to come here to help us. But initially it did, like in the 60s and 70s, you have riders. You have Harry Belafonte. You have our brother Kwame Ture, Stokely Carmichael, and many others who were solid riders, and we honor and respect them. Even Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey had some harsh words for us, but overall, I give him the thumbs up. I champion Marcus Garvey in the sense of he coming here recognizing the powerful, great things we were doing. Marcus Garvey didn't do anything for us. In Jamaica, they didn't want him in Jamaica. That black power didn't work in Jamaica. Jamaica was like a third world country then. So Marcus Garvey said, man, that black man in America got it going on. So he came to meet Booker T. What was Booker T. Washington doing at Tuskegee? Him and George Washington Carver. They were doing for ourselves, helping black farmers. And that was the essence, that ingenuity, that talent that we had then was legendary. That's how we built them all black towns, hundreds of them. We built across the country. About 60 of them were major ones. Most of them were little small ones. Go watch that movie, Rosewood. And that's about Florida, Rosewood, Florida. When we built those all black towns, we had a black town called Tulsa, Greenwood, Oklahoma. That was called the Black Wall Street. A lot of Seminoles. That's the black native tribe. That was in Florida and fought and defeated Caucasians here. Did you know that? The early black natives here, many were warriors. Most of us were peaceful and got along and had tribal conflicts with the red man and the Mongolian here. But there were black people here in America. The Mississippi, the mound builders. We were decimated when Caucasians came. The Seminoles in Florida went over to Oklahoma. And that was the agreement. That was the Trail of Tears. Going to Oklahoma to establish that city. And it was so powerful and black, it was razed to the ground in the early over a century ago, in the 1929. All of our towns were. And in my hometown, North Carolina, where I'm generationally from, we had two black Wall Streets. Wellington and Durham, North Carolina, were black Wall Streets. Both razed to the ground. They ran us out of there. By who? The same people. These same developers, the same financiers. They are the same people doing the same thing. They've just found a different way to do it. Undermine us. It's government policy. Redlining was government policy. Right out here in Long Island. Levittown was built. They put it in the deeds. Don't sell to black people. Because we was coming out here. We was in New York City. In the 40s, as our brother Elder Dorsey, he said these farmers, it was slavery in New York. And during chattel slavery, New York had slavery. Matter of fact, it was one of the main imports, Wall Street. So don't try to act like the North is something different. That's where it started, Rhode Island, New York. Rhode Island was a port, a slave auction. Wall Street was initially trading slaves. Life insurance, that was insurance their slaves. They had plantations out in farms out in Suffolk County. And in the 40s and 50s, the 40s, they would drive tractor trailers down south and bring our people up here to go work on the farm for cheap labor. They were doing that in the 40s on Long Island. It's the same financiers. It's the same people. What they're doing here at Stop and Shop is proof and evidence of the intent. Had we been silent and didn't say anything, the Stop and Shop employees would be working out of town. They would be displaced, and luckily not unemployed. They would be working out of town and wouldn't have the opportunity to benefit from the gentrification. Gentrification is supposed to revitalization. That's supposed to be a good thing. Brother came on my post a little couple of hours ago, stating, oh, well, Hemsptead looks so bad, it needs gentrification. I told him, show me one native black American community or hood in America that benefited from gentrification. It benefited the white gentry, the higher income gentry. And you may be sprinkled in there. We don't need your little personal achievements. We're dealing with group economics here. We're dealing with generational wealth. That's the assault. They're taking our generational wealth because they know how powerful it is. They built them all black towns. You got something to pass on. You got inheritance. But if you just got a job, how you going to pass that on? When you die, they're going to have a GoFundMe for your funeral. So that this gentrification, this is how it's going to work. And it's going to do the whole 300-acre footprint that I described to you earlier. And before, it was very defined. It was in certain sections and blocks and lots. All the village lots, all the county lots in downtown was given to those developers. All the 30 acres of parking lots were given. I think that's like $90 million worth of land were given to those developers. Don Monty took that free gift from Mayor Wayne Hall, just a total sellout and collaborator, just opportunists. All these politicians are. None of them care about us. They only care about their careers. And they got to act like they're concerned about you to advance their careers. Mayor Wayne Hall gave those parking lots away. They were valued at maybe $90 million, even more now as they start doing more. He got them for free, and he sold them Estella. He sold Estella in Carmen Place, where they're building now on Main Street in Bedell, at the old Mac Markowitz lot. And they knocked down the 2 homes there in that strip mall, destroyed it. Displacement, gentrification, for 2 apartment buildings. He sold them that land, and he profited that much. That's what they're doing. They're just waxing fat off of us. They're taking advantage of it, while our taxpayer dollars and property taxes are funding it. We're paying these tax breaks for them. The Stop and Shop had a tax break, but they did justice. They gave some jobs. I think the Home Depot got one too. I think they were in that agreement with Mayor James Donner. Most of the tax breaks businesses in Hempstead gets what's called pilots, payment in lieu of taxes. They're tax breaks. Most of them go to apartment owners and a few car dealerships. And the purpose of these tax breaks and these pilots, initially from the IDA board, the Industrial Development Agency, the town of Hempstead on 1 Washington, and Dorothy Gooseby and Don Ryan, I believe, worked, and Earlene Hooper, good sister, worked on getting a specific Hempstead board to participate in that, which Mayor Wayne Hobbs just corrupted. He put his sellouts on there. So they agree to everything he does, like Lamont and Joy. I forgot her last name. Williams, I think it is. All of them, they end together. Those tax breaks are supposed to attract businesses to Hempstead to say, well, we give you a tax break if you hire some people. to stimulate the economy and job creation. Who's got the jobs in here? Had we not said anything, it would have been a corporate expansion, a Korean company corporate expansion. It was not jobs. It's not developments. And that's the way it's going to keep going. Well, it's 20-something pilots like that in Hemsptead. Most of those pilots, tax breaks, are for apartment buildings. That's incredible. You know how many jobs are in an apartment building? Maybe 3. That's the manager, a porter, and a security. Or they contract outside security. The biggest apartments maybe have 7 employees, the most, if that. They get their tax break because they're supposed to hire local people. And most of these jobs are not us. It's been bastardized as a gift. It's been bastardized. Those tax breaks, those pilots were supposed to stimulate the economy, to give job growth and revitalization to the people in the community. They do not get them. What do they get? They get displaced. So an apartment building only have like 3 to 5 jobs the most. And that's not stimulating the economy. And that's not attracting people. That's supposed to be light industrial. I'm in the light industrial area over here, by the high school, back here. I got my bearings mixed up here, behind the Old Navy. Behind the Old Navy is what? Behind the Old Navy is the light industrial area. And that light industrial area is where the laundry manufacturer is, a lot of car shops and stuff like that. The light industrial area is where we're supposed to have our jobs. How many of us work there? We do work at the laundry place, and we had to fight for being exploited and paid low wage there. What's the name of that? I don't even remember that laundry service. It's all dusty and grimy back there, too. The cement place next to it dumps dust, cement dust everywhere. Back there. I need to drive back there when I leave here. And the light industrial area is supposed to be where the factories are, supposed to be where the companies are. They're supposed to be training us and employing us. They don't. They have this gift wrap for others. And the cheap labor is going towards the migrants and imports, and the professional class too. The professional class is going to be imports from Europe and India. The tech people, all the tech professionals are coming from India now. India is suffering a severe brain drain. A lot of their professionals, even Africa, the smartest brains from Africa, the smartest brains from the Caribbean, they don't come here helping us, helping their fellow black brothers and sisters in the diaspora. If they claim they're our brothers and sisters, they don't. They come to help themselves and their careers, and their brains and their talents goes towards corporations, racist corporations. They wage war around the world to take the resources, put in puppet governments, destabilize them. The CIA destabilized every nation on this planet. Over 100-something countries, American CIA have destabilized them, undermined them, making coups, killing, assassination, murder, sabotaging them. And then their collaborators in that country who work with the CIA to do that, the opposition says, oh, that's the people that was working with them Americans. So they got to book them out of there, like Afghanistan. They were jumping on cargo planes, holding on to the edge. What a dumb, you that desperate and dumb. You fleeing a country, the army, the Taliban coming after you. They done left all the weapons on purpose. They got to run to the tarmac at the airport on an American military plane. It got full, so these idiots held on to the wheels as the plane took off, and you see them falling from the sky. That's the deal you get for working with the CIA. That's who's coming to the country, the collaborators. Right now, back in the 60s and 70s, the 60s was our people. And the 70s, yeah, it was our good people. But now, you know who it is. These are professional class. These are brain drainers. These are not people sending money back to their countries. A lot of Africans don't do that. A lot of Mexicans do. Mexicans, they send that money back. Shoot, they need to rename Western Union, the Mexican Union. For real. They send that money back big time. But all of this is designed, why is the focus on us, Native Black Americans, 40-something million of us? Because we are the energy. We are the spirit. We are the soul of this country. And the focus have always been us. Art, entertainment, going to education. Why you think the nation was racialized? How was it racialized? This nation was so racialized, it had a one-drop rule. If you got one drop of nigger blood, you a nigger, you black. It's that intense. They focused on us. They hunted us. They haunted us. A white man would go, if we would run away from chattel slavery out into the swamps with alligators, they had bounty hunters and overseers, which became law enforcement. The term officer comes from overseer. They would go hunting us. They would risk their lives. One man, a scared slave, if you running, you're scared. You're trying to get to Canada, damn it. Into the swamps, alligators, snakes, and two white men, they would risk their lives hunting that soul. And it wasn't for the money. You know what it was? For our soul. Because they did the worst to us that they could in this country. They focused on us. We had the energy. And they did it because the Caucasians were dying anyway over in Europe. That's the War of the Roses. The Caucasians' birth rate is declining now. He's dying. Caucasians are dying, especially WAS, the real white folks, the blonde hair, blue eyes from Europe. They came over here to race mix anyway, to mix their blood, to strengthen their blood. Because they were dying over, they always had low birth rate. Did you know that? Well, now it's manifest big time because you're so focused on us. You're so focused on segregation. You're so focused on keeping us out of the economy. You're so focused on keeping us at the bottom, you've lost your own freedom. You lost your own liberty. You sacrificed your own liberty in haunting us. America lost, I think, is the total by discriminating against us, Native Black Americans. This hurt the economy by trillions of dollars. They literally rather hurt the economy. They would rather have this country burn to death, import immigrants, than to see us rise in power, to give us reparations. They owe us $800,000 each for reparations, Native Black Americans, for building the country. And in return, getting the worst treatment of any human being on the planet. And that they're still doing. And when we stand up and we say we deserve reparations, all type of racist tropes, they gaslight you. Oh, my parent wasn't a slave. I'm not paying for something. You weren't a slave. Well, this is the residual effect. You profited, you plundered us, and you Caucasians, who are the bankers, and you have the generational wealth, that 256 families that rule America, those oligarchs. You concentrate the wealth amongst Caucasians. You have that legacy. You have inherited our plunder. That's why you give it out so much. You just write blank checks to Ukraine and Israel, to war, kill, murder. America's big Israel. Israel is an appendage of America that dominates American politics, AIPAC, and the Jewish lobby, the Israeli lobby. They dominate the political scene in America. You can't get elected to high office unless AIPAC endorse you. Trump could have, but he supports him anyway because he's racist. But anyway, that's how it's going. And this is how it's going to continue going. You're going to lose your jobs. You're going to lose your home. Those of us that survive. Thousands of us have already been displaced. That's why we went back down south to Georgia, Maryland, Virginia, Alabama. A lot of people from New York come from the Carolinas. North Carolina. A lot of us come from North Carolina. That's why I still got this accent. We in Hemsptead, right back here, 33 East Graham. Yeah, it's right behind the high school. Behind Old Navy, going back towards Lincoln Park. I lived across the street from Lincoln Park when it was all grass. Now the sun is going down. Let me get this way. Jeez, this is bad lighting. Yeah, I grew up in Hempstead all my life. I was born here, and I watched it transform. Hempstead was all black in the 70s. Did you know that? Hempstead was all native black in the 1970s. We had black business, and then all the way up to the 80s, we had black businesses everywhere. All of Union, every store on Union, on the Heights, was black owned at one time in the 80s. I remember that. Remember Mr. Edwards around the corner? Then he later had the laundromat. Well, the dry cleaners on Union, that was a Muslim dry cleaners. The brother Romeo, he had a hair salon. He had a greasy spoon over there. They were little small stores. Sister, was it Susie, I believe, at the candy store, the video game and stuff like that. We had plenty of businesses like that on the hills. Drew Harvey, his dad had a little candy store. Me and Junie temporarily worked in there. Drew Harvey was his dad, Mr. Harvey. And next to the Brothers store. The Brothers store, there was the Arabs who was selling us bad things in the community. It was called the Brothers store. No, off of Elizabeth. The Brothers was off Elizabeth. The other one was over by the Drive. The little strip mall where the Hoagie House was. The Hoagie House was black. We had plenty of businesses. And we have nothing now. Do you know why? Because we put our trust and we got naive and we got sleepy. We went to sleep because them politicians were putting us to sleep. We were so impressed by Mayor James Garner being the first black mayor. You're so happy with ceremonial shit that gives you nothing. That's empty, they're void, they're ghosts, they're shadows, they don't have any impact. They kill generational wealth. You just want to be employees and jobs. You need businesses, industry. And we're going to change it around and get it. Now, I'm saying that. Let's focus on light industrial cultivation and get rid of that miseducation. We ain't in Hempstead schools anyway. That's mainly Latina. They've been importing Latinos. They're my good brothers and sisters here in Hempstead, some that I know from Honduras and Central America. They've been doing that since the 80s. Then in the 90s, they just blew it up. And now, who is being cultivated in Hempstead public schools? Who is being privatized now in charter schools? Hempstead taxpayers are funding charter schools. See, this is disrespectful. And none of those schools really are cultivating us properly. They're miscultivating us. We're Native Black Americans. We have certain ways. We have a spirit. We have a soul. Our ancestors' blood saturate this soil with injustice, exploitation, rape, murder. And the worst injustice done to us wasn't even chattel slavery, working for somebody else. It was robbing us of the knowledge of self. But the knowledge of self you can do for yourself, protect yourself, build a family structure and community. We have relied on politics. The black church had failed us. The black church used to be the standard. We would go into churches, rally, and make a change. Now they have been beholden to their nonprofits. They're beholden to government now. They tell them don't be political. Come into politics. Now the new black church is the Democratic Party. And now some of us even going to the Republican Party. Mayor Garner, he was Republican. They have a black Republican club in Hempstead. I signed up as Republican back in the 90s because of Mayor Garner. He was mayor. So the black Republicans had it going on. I said, well, I was in front of 1199 Plaza in Harlem, a beautiful black co-op there in Harlem in the 90s, and the sister was registering people to vote. I was a felony on parole. And, I had got off parole. I had just got off, I think I got off parole about then. Yeah, I was off. So ex-felon, you couldn't vote. I couldn't vote out in Nassau County. I said, well, let me sign up in New York City. And it went through. So that's when I was able to vote. So when it went through, she lied to me and said I must register Democrat. I said, why? I said, I'm independent. I don't want to do that. And I said, well, matter of fact, since I'm independent, I'll register Republican because Mayor Garner he was the mayor of Hempstead at that time. And a lot of people in position doing things. We was getting ready for the Million Man March. We was rallying. We were doing things. He was getting involved. I said, well, I'll join on with him. That sounds good. But then after a while, I went independent, because that's intelligent. Like right now, I'm on the couch. Right now, Obama's tricking us into trying to shame us into voting for Kamala, who doesn't like Native black people. She's cosplaying us like she's one of us, knowing that woman is a Hindu and her mama come from that Hindu class of not the elites, but they don't look highly upon black people, so-called dark-skinned black people, not where her mama come from. And her father in Jamaica is really not a black. He may be mixed with black, but he got some of that Irish and that white. And some of his relatives were slave owners in Jamaica. Matter of fact, one of his relatives was oppressing the beautiful Rastafarian people, our beautiful Rastafarian brothers and sisters. A lot of my good friends in Hemsptead from Jamaica. And many who closer to me are Rastafari. They cut their dreads and even murdered them, that white man in Jamaica. Oppressed them. They always focus on her. She comes from that spirit. Her ancestors are not in the soil. They didn't suffer in the soil. Kamala Harris' ancestors don't suffer here. Didn't have the experience here. That's why she doesn't relate to us. That's why she has to do that goofy accent and acting like us in instances and everything. And it don't work. It's all backfiring. Obama just ran dry. Obama tank just ran dry. He tried to shame us into voting for that woman. As black men, she don't respect herself. To be herself, she should be a proud Hindu, Indian, Jamaican sister. And has she stood up for black people? Has she be talking against gentrification like I am, generational wealth, fighting police brutality, properly educating our people? I vote for her. I can't vote for somebody that doesn't have anything to offer. Voting is not a gift. You're a fool to gift your vote away. Voting is an exchange. And my exchange is I'm on the couch. That means I'm waiting for somebody to make a sweet offer to Native black people. Sister Jill Stein and Brother Butch Ware, the Green Party, they have reparations on the menu. They have many good things for black people, but they got two things that's pretty bad there with that Green Party. That's got me still on the couch, man. They have abortion still going. It's mainly black babies getting aborted a lot, man. You know how many children? That shouldn't be that decision for our sexual relationship. Our relationship that ends in sex that results in a child, a pregnancy. Then the man that be there, he wanted to have sex, didn't want to be with the woman's gone, so she wants to abort the baby as retaliation. A doctor should not be making that decision. That should be the community making the decision on right at the relationship. That's cultivation. That's us getting extended family. Your extended family does that. We have a solution for everything. It's called Native Black Cultural Nationalism. Where extended family covers that. That's what we were doing in the 60s and the 70s right here in Hemsptead. Beautiful black families on the hills. Beautiful. We were protected. Nobody would bother. You didn't hear of all them police shootings of black people on Long Island in the 70s. You know why? Because we retaliate. We had them big black families from the South. We would retaliate. I knew a brother waiting outside the police precinct, a Black Panther, waiting outside the police precinct out here on Long Island. Back in the 60s, he said the police never came out that precinct. What did that police do? They abused some of our people, abused his relative, and he was waiting for his ass. That was our spirit right here in Long Island. Did you know that happened? Well, anyway, that's the spirit we need. We need cultivation. The economy got to be light industrial. It just can't be this professional class. They're going to gentrify Hemsptead. What they plan on, unless we stop them, got to get lawsuits. They plan on gentrifying Hemsptead into a white college casino city, and you will not be included. It was a brother chimed in on my Facebook page. He said Hempstead need to be gentrified or something because it looked bad. It'll look good if it's gentrified. Well, you won't be here to enjoy it. Mayor Wayne Hall, the corrupt Mayor Wayne Hall that initiated this, said he wanted Hempstead, he wanted the city to look like, to extend between Garden City, Hempstead, and Rockville Center. He wanted Garden City, he wanted this one city to extend, to look like Garden City, Hempstead, and Rockville Center. He said when you're driving through there, you wouldn't even know you in either town. He said he wants to look all the same. That's what the gentrification process is. And the brother said, I want Hempstead to look good then. I said, well, nigga, are you in Garden City right now? Do you live in Garden City? You barely live in, if you live in Rockville Center, you are a certain section of Rockville Center, still since the 40s. You over there in the projects, and you got a few homes in Rockville Center. It's not for you. Don't be so naive. They bring up all these white supremacists and these immigrant talking points, tropes. And they're stale and worn out. Something that ain't for you. Just what black neighborhood across America do you know that have benefited from gentrification? New York City, 1 million native black people have been displaced from New York City since the 90s. 1 million. And most during the pandemic. Ran us up out of there. They gentrified Harlem. They gentrified Brooklyn. Most of New York City are immigrants now. Those are black immigrants. Many, there are some of us there. We still live in New York City. We was up in Sugar Hill. What you think the Harlem Renaissance was? Harlem had the largest group of black people outside of Africa all the way up to like the 1970s. Then Atlanta probably has gotten that title now of the same people. What do you say? Monogamous people. I mean, the same type of people. Harlem had that distinction for a long time. Malcolm X used to talk about that. That's why he loved Harlem. He said we're the largest group of black people, back then he called us Negroes, and the largest group of black people outside of Africa concentrated in one city. That didn't become overtaken until the 70s, the late 70s. So now when we do it, we got to do it for us. And the steps that you've seen our brother, Jeff Spencer, taking, that's the steps we got to take. We got to take them steps. We got to demand more for us, and we got to get into the politics. We got to get into the civics. We got to take charge of that village board and that school board. We got to take it over and put this agenda in there. Native black cultural nationalism. It's our solution. It's our only cure. I got to get back to my mom's in Oceanside. And you pray for my mom's. She's still being gang stalked. She's still being harassed, especially by that tenant above her in apartment 457. They ain't no good. That's BlackRock. BlackRock owns all apartments in America. Most of them. They're going to own them all soon. They own most of them. BlackRock is buying all the housing. When you go to an open house, and most of the time you're bidding against a corporation and not other families. You're bidding against BlackRock, and they're buying it all with cash. They want you renting. They don't want you owning anything. It's all a sick game, and it's detrimental to us. Nothing benefits us like that. Well, BlackRock owns all these apartments, and BlackRock is and Kamala Harris, she just gave them special privilege, and she said if she's president, she's going to give them high priority. She gave them a slot in the government. Kamala Harris gave BlackRock a racist, military, industrial, corporation, what you call them, that take over other companies and stuff, of a raider. They raid other companies and stuff, taking over everything. She gave them special priority because that's her spirit. That's where her heart is. It's not local communities. It's big corporations because that's who's paying her. That's who she's frightened of. BlackRock owns these apartments, and they have contractors. BlackRock contractors, they put them in apartments to create nuisance. So in the nuisance, the management supposed to take care of that, but they don't. The management says, "Okay, we'll take care of it." So if they don't take care of it, and you take the measures into your hands, and you complain a lot, and you knock on their door, you yell at them, they say you the problem. Then they get you in landlord-tenant court, and you thinking, well, these people that made all the noise, I even got video evidence. That management attorney coming there and with letters from the management and their other contracting tenants saying that you the problem. And they do that in landlord-tenant court. And who do you think they saw? It's all fixed. A legal aid lawyer agreed with me with that. I said, these courts, it's all fixed, man. He said, yeah, it is fixed. Pray for Mom, because she's still being harassed by the no-good scum above her. And we're going to have to make protests over there with that Woodcrest Oceanside management, And let me see. Other than that, next week, okay, I told you, depending on the feedback I get, depends on where my live will be. And that's all I have to say now for that. They sending them all. Okay, let me get into some comments, y'all. That's Janine Felder. They sending them all to the black neighborhoods, telling them to take over. Yeah. The bulk of import migrants, 70%, the bulk of them go into poor black neighborhoods. For decades, that's been happening. Hemsptead is a perfect example. Hemsptead is a prime example. Mayor Waylon Hobbs went to Central America to give them the approval and give them the okay. I forgot his exact words. It was like, I'm going to bless you. Come on to Hempstead. Anything you want to do in Hempstead, come on. Yet when we asked for programs in Hempstead, I'm called a racist. He told me, no, I can't do anything. I can't do your native black culture and nationalism. That's racist. And it's not. It's lineage-based. Native black American, that's a lineage. From those of us who built the country. Been over here hundreds of years. It's just that you, Waylon Hobbs, don't have no honor. And you don't have no love for your ancestors and our people who experienced that. You're more interested in your career. In politics. They all are. None of them care about us. All right, let me get some more comments here. Sister Liz Glenn, thank you, brother, for always thinking of us and fighting for us. Right on, my sister, you're welcome. All praise is due to Allah. That's right. I love you. So I got to see you soon, too, sister. We ain't seen each other in a long time. Other comments, salute right on point to Brother Chris. All right. Right on to you, my brother. Salute back. Pal. Allahu Akbar. Yeah, we getting it right, bro. We get enough people involved. I think I saw a sister about a petition. Nana, Breeze, get a petition signed up. Can't believe Shop and Stop is gone. Yeah, get the petition. Well, Jeff, in regards to the Stop and Shop, that has been, Brother Jeff got that done with the Food Bazaar employees for a job fair, October 16th. Go to Brother Jeff Spencer's page, Facebook page, and you'll see that agreement. He has a contract and everything there. They agreed to take them back only because we put pressure on them. And they really put pressure on them when they saw me getting involved. When I got involved, well, I'll go into the details of that later. If they get back to me wrong, I will be making popcorn next week. And for our brothers and sisters, black brothers and sisters who are immigrants from the Caribbean, Africa, and you come and help us, you in the community, with the Black Liberation Movement, stand up for social justice for us, we love you, brothers and sisters, and we welcome you, and we want you here. Like we did. Look how we honored Harry Belafonte, Stokely Carmichael. I had posters on the wall of all our greats. I even had posters of Marcus Garvey on my wall. You know I have Master Fard Muhammad, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, all the pictures up there as a thing, but in my earlier days, I had posters. You know the posters we had in the room, Black Power posters, please. You know we had Malcolm there. Malcolm's mother was from the Caribbean. His father, Earl, was from the South. And he was in the Garvey, he was a preacher for Garvey. And did you know that Brother Malcolm's, Earl Little's, he was so strong a black man, and his brothers, they lynched his brothers too. Malcolm's uncles were assassinated and lynched because they were strong black men. They were hunting us at the turn of the century. Strong black men, they were hunting us in this country if we showed any strength. You know? And Earl Little, they bashed him upside the head, laid him on a train track and let the train cut him in half, and then robbed his mother of the insurance money. And then she went mentally ill. You know, she suffered a nervous breakdown. And they had to put her in an institution. And it was later on that the family went and got her out. Louise Little, that's correct. Yeah, look, everybody, I appreciate your input. That's right, Sister Hayla Addison. All right, Sister Renee, I hear you, brother, right on. Yes, we are. We're going to make some changes here. And this is how we're going to do it. We all got to get involved, and we got to be truthful. But more of the truth is going to come out. And next week, I'll give you all the details, because I'm just waiting for the feedback. But we got to start boycott shit. Shut it down. If I wasn't on the live, I'd tell you to do something else. Boycott it. Shut it down. Strike. You see what those port workers did? The port workers shut down the ports. Give us what we want, or else. Well, Native Black Americans, we can shut stuff down. Like if they don't do right at places like this, we shut them down. And when we build our own, we don't get a heritage protection, a zone protection of Native Black, being that we have been displaced and we are targeted for redlining. Redlining is still going on. It's just more subtle now. This gentrification prove it. We are designated for this. And we got to fight it. We can do it with true unity, not these politicians. I think I can name the Hemsptead Village Board and Hemsptead School Board. I can name the politicians who have stood up for us. It was Sister Shelley Brazeley, who was mainly standing up for us, and then that dwindled off when she ran for trustee, didn't make it, and Sister Shelley really didn't want to get involved too much no more. I guess she got tired. She still love our people, but we need strong voices against this injustice, everybody. And that's still a good sister, and I support her. And Sister Earlene Cooper, she stood up for some things. She did. Sister Earlene Cooper did pretty good. Sister Dorothy Gooseby, stand up for some things. She didn't condemn that fully thing. We were there. We used to hope that Dorothy Gooseby would denounce the MDA and denouncing stuff. They would wait. She would just denounce certain aspects of it. That's not good enough. This is what you get when you do. This is what you get when you don't denounce the whole plan. You got to denounce the whole plan. You get a better one, a plan that benefits us. You don't know how to fight for shit, almost. Why don't we fight for stuff? Demand stuff. Of the Democratic Party, we demanding things. Demand, or else. We're going to take countermeasures that hurt you. That's why I'm on the couch. I tell them voting either Jill Stein, the Green Party, but they got that abortion and immigration in there. That's a little almost of a deal breaker. Cornel West, he's for black power and reparations, but he got that all lives matter, letting all the immigrants in. Man, brother, this is an invasion. This is no country in the world has an open border where millions of imports come in. Cheap labor. What's wrong with you? That ain't for the people. That ain't the country. That ain't asylum seekers. That's corporate greed wanting cheap labor. They want people to exploit, to take advantage of, to push around, kick around, spit on, and pay them dirt. And most of them are scared anyway that they'll get deported out the country. Look out, if they think Trump is going to win, they're scared to death. They're going to be hiding. So we got to use the same device of countermeasures and valuing our participation, valuing our vote. High value, because we are high value people. And we are a waking giant, and the enemy is shaking in his boots. He's scared to death. One of the biggest movements of the human rights movements of this century is our delineation. The delineation movement we have now, and one of the sweetest movements we're doing right now at this moment is the couch. Until you do right by us, and you give us tangibles. Trump, you got to give tangibles if you want to vote. I ain't voting for Trump. He hate us, but Kamala has done more. Kamala, Biden, the Clintons have done more harm to us with that crime bill. And Kamala persecuted us from that same bill. So they have done worse. Trump ain't locked up that many people. Trump got some people out of jail. They locked up, they destroyed thousands of lives. Because that's their nature, that's how they operate. And they wish us harm. But no more. We're changing this around. All right, family. I spent enough time here, and I have the full details next week. And depending on the feedback, will be the subject, whether it's popcorn or tea or something else. All right, family. I hope that your Sunday as well is beautiful out here. That's why I came out here. To get some of this nice sun, enjoy the weather. And I didn't see any black employees go in that food bazaar. Okay, that's why we're here. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have a good evening. Be well. Keep your strong spirit. Keep your fight in you. And stay focused, because we're almost there. We're rising. Back to the top. I'll leave you as I greeted you in ancient Arabic words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Peace unto you. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, family.